I'm constipated.
Okay.
True story.
Wait,
I
like,
Oh
you
my
currently
goodness.
still are, or you just
No.
got over this?
No. This has been like an ongoing thing since Saturday. So
Have
Saturday,
you ever administered your own enema?
no, I have, I have
Oh
not
That's a story
administered.
for another time. I've done that. Woo!
Oh.
I have not administered my own enema. There are multiple stories of me having the exact opposite problem of being constipated in public spaces, including
Crap
once
your
at the
pants.
movie theater. Yes, yep. Once that happened at the movie theater, and once it happened when I was working. Actually, New Year's Day of 2020, I crapped my pants at work. So you want to talk about like a prelude to what 2020 was going to be about? Like, it started pretty crappily, if you will.
Well, hold on.
I'm
I have
so
a
Tyler's
question.
face right now.
Yeah.
It's just...
How are you almost 30 years old and crapping your pants?
Okay, so I can explain both of those. So the first one, I was once again, this is a problem that happens in my life, is that I don't
You
eat
poop your
healthy.
pants? Oh,
And yes, but see, there's actually deeper meaning to that. No, there's not. I get constipated, and so by not eating healthily, and as a result of that, I take laxatives, and so I went to the movie theater, and I had taken laxatives, and of course the laxatives say they react within 2 to 8 hours or something like that. Well, 10 hours go by, and it's time to go see this movie. And it was Lord of the Rings. It was The Hobbit. It was the first Hobbit, actually. We were going to the Denham movie theater, and it was like me and Matt and Bill McGrath
You were
and
in
Megan and
college and this
Nathan.
happened?
Yeah, this
Oh
really
my
happened.
goodness.
So, anyways, so at the end I realized I have to go to the bathroom, so I go to the bathroom, whatever. And then at the end of the movie, I had to go to the bathroom again. So, but I thought I only had to pee, and so I'm at the urinal peeing next to Bill, and I thought I had to fart. Wasn't a fart.
You bet and
not
you lost.
being the key word.
Yeah, and that's a similar thing that happened to me last January 1st. Is that I was at a customer's house working, and I thought I had to fart, and wasn't a fart. Except that time it wasn't laxative invoked. It was just
you dooted your pants at a customer's house, bro.
Actually, I was out back, and then I had to find a way to get through their house. No, the worst part about that was too that I went to a bathroom down the street and they were out of toilet paper.
What the heck?
I lost a couple socks that day.
Oh my goodness, bro. You dooted your pants at a customer's house.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude.
that he was an HVAC guy. He had diarrhea and he had to go bad, and he went in and sat on the toilet and let it rip. But he was in such a rush he forgot to flip the toilet seat up and just all over the.
Okay, so you guys,
dude.
Yeah.
You guys got to understand this. In the field, in the field that I'm in, and like a lot of tradesmen are in, although my job is nothing as great or glamorous as a tradesman, you're in and out of people's houses all day. So like if you have to go to the bathroom, this is something talked about all the time in the groups I'm in. Like you're 30 feet up in the air on a ladder and you suddenly realize you need to go. What do? Like you can't just
down and poop.
You can't just poop off the ladder onto the main road.
Can.
Like, no, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
It'd be so funny to drive by.
I know of people that have. I know of people that have peed
That's a
off the
big
ladder,
bird.
but I want.
I think it died. It just fell right out of the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Oh no. But no, you can't just when you have to go to the bathroom, you can't just say, "Hey, Grandma, can I use the bathroom?" I mean, it's like actually against company policy. You can't use a customer's bathroom. A little bit of a gray area if it's a business and it's like a gas station, because obviously, if I were going to a gas station just in general, like that's fine. So like, what are you gonna do? Just destroy Grandma's bathroom?
True. That is true.
So you get in these positions, and it happens to me a lot where like you got to go, but you got to finish your job, or you have to like say you have to go pick something up from a customer or from another tech, or have to go drop something off for another tech. Like these are real things. But anyways, I'm completely constipated, and I've been for a few days because I ate way too much rice. And
I was gonna ask what you were eating the past couple of days.
Pizza and a burrito from Chipotle is really what got it going.
Now you're all stopped up, man. So you've never had an enema before in your life?
N- no, I've never had an enema.
Dude, they suck.
All right, whoa,
Isn't
whoa,
that
hold
like
on, hold on.
cleaning out your booty hole with water?
It's a bottle that they literally with a nozzle that they shove up your anus and they like squeeze it and it like goes up there and then you have to clench and hold it as long as possible. And dude, it feels like fire in your butt. And you have to hold it as long as possible and then it just like
Now, why did you do that? I know that like
dude, I was constipated for like 3 weeks. It was bad. I had to
and
go to the
that
hospital.
and that's what got the juices going again.
That and I got like medical grade laxatives, like stuff that like you can't get in a store. It was bad. It was really bad.
Was it gnarly, the poop that came after?
Oh, dude, when it all like unleashed, it was not good. It was
It
disgusting.
it
The
starts
elusive
solid,
triple
right?
flusher.
It was disgusting, and it looked weird too because it'd been there. So, anyways, we don't have to go into
Yeah,
all
dude. All
that.
right. Sorry for the people that like to listen to this first thing in the morning while eating your coffee and donuts. We just talked about poop for 6 minutes. Anyways,
All right,
All right.
this
Well,
is the Under 500 podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back into the Under 500 podcast. I am Tyler, and I'm joined by my two lovely friends, Eric and Aaron. Eric, other than being constipated, how are you?
dang it. That's what I was gonna say. I was prepared for you to say how are you, and I was gonna say constipated. But beyond that, I'm doing pretty good actually. I'm having a good day today so far.
Good, same. Aaron, what's up with you? How are you?
I'm regular, so that's good.
Not constipated.
I am not constipated. Everything's moving nicely. So in
Nice.
comparison to Eric's day, then I'm having a really good one. If that's the criteria, our criteria is based on how we poop. Is pretty
Yeah.
much what I'm boiling.
That's a
this
real
down to.
thing, though. How's your day going? You have a good poop, like it's a good day, isn't it? I'm sorry, I don't
We
mean
have to
keep
stop talking
this.
about poop.
Tyler, how are you doing?
You know,
How's your new role at work? How's
Oh,
everything going?
dude,
Tell everyone about your new promotion.
I was promoted to the store manager at my parts store. It's going well. The guy that they had as manager, they just like demoted him, which is it's still pretty awkward, if I'm being honest, because he still works for me, but now he works for me, not me working for him.
Is he happy about not being in charge anymore?
No. He's pretty upset about it. Which, you know, yeah, I get it. They kind of just came in and didn't tell him about anything and said, "You're not manager anymore." And they were like, "Tyler, you're the manager now." So they kind of, they did a little blindside, but that's
Does he hate you?
No, he's told me multiple times he's not mad at me. And that he's not just going to leave like one day and not show up. He's going to like give 2 weeks if he gets another job, which he's looking for. So, So anyways, the best part about it all is I get to leave work like an hour earlier than I usually do. Cause I used to close the store at 6 o'clock. And now I can leave anywhere from 4:30 to 5.
Nice.
But I also do have to go in an hour earlier, but it's not that bad.
As you get older, though, that's more preferred.
That's better. Yeah.
I would much rather go in at 6 or 7.
Oh yeah,
and get out earlier.
Getting there at 7 o'clock is like a breeze. It's super easy. So
you work like 7 to 5?
7 to 5, yeah.
Ugh. 5 days a week?
Every day.
No overtime because of your salary?
Right. Well, so the way that my pay stub shows up is 40 hours regular time, 36 hours overtime.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. Okay,
but it is a salary. That's just how they figure the numbers. It's 36 hours overtime, which is a lot more than I was making before because I was hourly with 40 hours and like 10 to 12 hours overtime.
Whatever overtime you incurred.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It was usually
that means
10 to
Tyler's getting
12.
some graphic cards. That's what that means.
So yeah, I basically doubled my pay within
Nice.
a day.
Jeez, good for you, man.
So yeah, it's
You deserve
beautiful.
it.
You guys want to talk a little bit about something maybe that hasn't been on our sports radar, but maybe should be
Sure, yeah.
coming up?
What do you got for us?
So I just want to just ask you guys the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which are the Summer Olympics, by the way. Obviously, were supposed to happen in 2020, but we had this little thing called the global pandemic, and COVID and all that stuff happened, and so they postponed them to 2021. But I heard on the radio this morning, and I've actually done a little a little searching with Google since then, and the 2021 Olympic Games might not happen because COVID is still a concern in
Really?
Japan. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm about to sneeze and it's really bothering me. You ever have a
Yeah.
like you're trying to fight off a
Oh,
sneeze?
yeah.
Like that's currently happening.
Oh,
But
yeah.
my question to you is, and this is why I think summer versus or summer versus winter Olympics matter, is if the Olympics were canceled, how much would you care, or would you care at all?
The Summer Olympics?
Yes.
I wouldn't care at all. Like 0% of me would care. Nice. I'm glad you got it out.
I muted myself.
I know. I had to say it.
That was a mean sneeze. You're all
I know. His whole body was in that one.
Aaron
Anyways.
almost walked out because of a horror movie.
So I don't care about the Summer Olympics. Like, what even is there that is interesting?
Michael Phelps.
He's not even participating in this.
But
Well,
he's
when
not
you-
participating anymore.
Yeah, but when you
He's old.
when you like get, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. There's nothing in the Olympics that is interesting to me unless you get that, like Usain Bolt or Michael Phelps.
Okay,
doing,
so
like
let me ask you this.
the diamond in the rough. You want to watch that stuff.
If they were the Winter Olympics, would you care?
Yeah, because of hockey.
But isn't Summer Olympics baseball?
No, not anymore. I think they.
Is baseball
I'm
not
pretty
in there
sure-
anymore?
I'm pretty sure they got rid of it.
Basketball summer. But for me, I don't really care for either. I mean, I'm not a big Olympics guy. I could care less though about Winter Olympics. Nothing about winter sports or events does anything. I take the Summer Olympics over the winter because I at least I like the track and field events, and basketball.
Yeah.
So, do you know when radio stations do like the a-thons, like the telethons for
Like raising money?
like the Christian stations when they do the raising money because they're totally, they don't get any support besides the support we give, blah blah blah. And you flip the channel, because you want to listen to music on the radio. You don't want to listen to them asking you for money.
Right.
I'm just being honest. When the Olympics are on, it's like, oh boy, everything NBC is now owned by the Olympics.
Yes.
And I literally will avoid all those channels. Like, there's a couple things I know that I grew up watching them a lot with my mom. Like, I remember watching Michael Phelps and seeing all the things that he would win. I remember watching the Utah Olympics, and I remember watching the guy run in with the flame, and George Bush, who was the president at the time, was just sitting in the state and with everybody else. Of course, there were Secret Service all around him, and he's like sitting next to a girl that's like, you would never believe the president of the United States sitting next to me. So he hears her obviously talk. He says, can I talk? And so he grabs her phone and he's like talking to her on the phone, like whoever she was talking to on the phone, like, hey, this is George Bush, president of the United States. Like, I remember those things. Those are all cool things. And I know that those things can happen and there are special moments in the Olympics. If the Olympics stopped happening, I probably wouldn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Right.
If either of them stopped happening, it's like, oh, okay.
And I think that's something from our age, like,
it.
honestly, like our age bracket. I just don't think we care to sit around and get up at like 2:00 in the morning to watch somebody do something.
That's the part
like
that's tough. Is if you want to see everything, you have to get up crazy early in the morning, and like there's apps you have to download to like watch because not everything's aired on NBC, so it's just a lot of work. It's like, and yet I don't know, I'm not down for it.
Yeah,
I just wanted you
the
guys'
scores.
opinion on that.
Yeah, Summer Olympics don't matter to me.
So what's so you said it might not happen? Are they having a flare up in Tokyo? Is that what's going on?
I think that it's just like with anything else, they closely monitor it, and as it stands now, there's peaks and there's valleys of this whole, uh, you know, ongoing pandemic and the readily availability of vaccinations and how that relates to people testing positive and is it under control or not. So I think as it stands right now, it's in jeopardy, or they're just discussing that it might not happen because the vaccines, even though they've been really efficient and though a lot of people are taking them, it just hasn't translated
Right.
necessarily to where our wonderful overlords, I mean, the government thinks that they want things to be as far as safety standards and, those whole
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Your libertarian is showing.
True. True.
I'm ready to go back to Fenway, boys. What can you say? And I know that Massachusetts, as of May 29th, is opening everything up. So
It is. Yep.
They're going to a higher percentage
2
to
weeks
it
to
at
flatten the
park.
curve, and here we are a year and 8
Year
weeks
and
later.
2 months.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
happens
year
when
and
the
2 months
population
later.
fails to flatten the curve. So the NHL.
Anyways, it is.
All right. So, do you want to talk MLB first, Tyler, or do you want to talk
yes.
NHL first?
No. We could go to the MLB. MLB is hot right now. I just wanted to talk to you guys about something really quick. Let me tell you about a guy named Shohei Ohtani. He
It's
is
a funny name.
he is a
I
funny
like
name.
it.
He's
I
Japanese.
don't think you can say that, Aaron.
Huh?
We're
It is, it's a funny
2021. You
name.
can't pick on someone's name.
What are you talking about? It's got a good ring to it. Shahani Otani? Is that what it was?
Shohei Ohtani.
Well,
Oh,
if
Shohei
we weren't
Ohtani.
canceled last week, we're gonna get canceled this week.
We're not
'cause
getting
Aaron has
canceled.
no tact.
Anyway, so I want to tell you about Shohei Ohtani. He's a Japanese import. He's a big dude.
I looked up this guy. I don't know who he is.
He is tall.
He's
Yeah.
big. He's muscular. Not too big, but anyways, he's a pitcher. He's a starting pitcher. And this season so far, he has a 2.10 ERA through 5 starts. He hasn't lost yet. He has 1 win. 4 no decisions. He has a 2.10 ERA. What would you say after 5 starts? Is that that's a pretty good start through May?
Did the team win all 5 of those starts?
I honestly didn't look that up.
Because I realized that like, a pitcher can win or lose and it might not translate exactly or have like a no decision, So I do think that the team winning in his starts matter because it would reveal that he's giving his team the best chance to win. But I would say just the things you gave me, yeah, that's a pretty good start.
But the ERA kind of shows he has a 2.1 ERA through 5 games. I mean, that's
I do feel like if your team's losing and you're, under 3,
He is
ERA.
tall. He's 6'4".
So yeah, he's big.
Wow.
So you'd say that's a pretty good start. He has the same ERA as the Cy Young the most likely Cy Young winner, who's Garrett Cole. I think. No, I don't want to say that that's actually factual, but I'm pretty sure he has the same ERA. Anyways, what would you say if I told you that same guy leads the MLB in home runs?
I love it.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah, back in like 1906.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
When when the pitchers had to hit. So, yeah, he has a 2.10 ERA, and he leads the league in home runs. As of the last time I checked was last night.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the most impressive things I've heard. And I'm not even a baseball fan.
Yeah,
but like someone he can literally like the 2 biggest things in the sport, and he excels at them: pitching and hitting.
Yep.
Like
that would be like Tom Brady throwing for 3 touchdowns in a game, and also getting 3 sacks and an interception.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's unheard of. That doesn't happen.
We're down by a couple runs. We got the bases, 2 on, 2 out. Who are we gonna have pitch hit? I don't know. Is there anybody in the bullpen we could grab?
Right. And actually, speaking of that, I don't know if he was DHing or if he was starting or if he was a pinch hitter, but when the Red Sox lost him, which is going to bring me into my next point, the Red Sox lost on Sunday to the Angels because Shohei Ohtani hit a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning off of Matt Barnes, who is like one of the hottest closers.
Is he AL?
Yeah.
So he's in the AL and he's leading?
Hold on. Angels are American League. Yeah.
That's why I said that. Like, I assumed that I forgot that he played for the Angels and that the Angels were in the American League because the American League
American League.
doesn't make their pitchers hit.
Right. So
That's even better.
So when he's supposed to be resting from a start, excuse that very unmasculine squeak. When he's supposed to be resting from a start, which, he's only pitched 5 games, so he doesn't pitch as often. But he's playing left field or DHing.
That's incredible.
Right.
That's impressive. That's incredibly impressive.
If he doesn't
I don't know the sport much, but that's pretty crazy.
That can really burn him out, though, as far as they got to be careful with that. Like, they got to play the hot hand, but like, I don't know. The reason why pitchers rest is because they use so much of their energy when they're pitching, and you want them to rest because you want your pitchers to pitch well.
Was that why he's only pitched 5 games?
Yeah. They're not going to pitch him as often. But like, still, I mean, that's like superhuman stuff.
That's really legit, though.
So, and then that brings me to my next point is I said that he won the game for the Angels versus the Red Sox on Sunday. And I want to talk about the Red Sox, who are still in first place, still number 2 in power rankings. They need to secure the sweep. That is something that they've been really, really not so great at. And, not a lot of teams are great, like fantastic at securing the sweep. But the Red Sox they need to, because the AL East is a division that has the Yankees in it. And, the Yankees got off to a really bad start, but they're actually performing really well right now. Their things are starting to click.
Far behind right now.
Yeah, they're only, I think, 2 games or a game and a half behind the Red Sox.
2.5 behind the Red Sox, yeah.
So when you're in a division with a team as talented as the Yankees, and I know at the beginning of the season, I was ready to call it for the Yankees, but Eric, you were smart and didn't do that, and honestly didn't let me do that. So, the Red Sox need to learn how to secure the sweep, because those 1-game losses they're gonna creep up on the Yankees are gonna end up creeping up on the Red Sox because of them. They can't be losing series or tying a series. Winning the series and sweeping is like your 3 main goals as a baseball team. The Red Sox can't even afford to tie series with the Yankees.
The division is actually really, really tight.
They're doing, yeah. The American League East is doing well.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the year, I do honestly foresee that the Orioles will go straight down the gutter.
Well, they're already now by far the furthest one down, it looks like.
Who's in 3rd place?
The Rays.
The Rays.
And they're only 2 games back from the Red Sox.
And the Rays were,
they were the Yankees. It's only 2.5 games.
Yeah, the Rays were in the World Series last year, and they're not that bad of a team. They have a great manager who just made a really bad decision in the World Series that nobody will ever forgive him for, but he is a good manager. So excuse me. So the Red Sox really. I had a big burp there.
You doing okay, Tyler?
Yeah. They need to secure the sweep. They need to be able to get these sweeps out, because there's no reason that we should have lost to the Angels on Sunday. We should have been able to secure the sweep. Go ahead. No,
I will say if they go 500 the rest of if everything stays where it is and they go 500 the rest of the season, aren't they in the playoffs?
Well,
wouldn't you think they are in the playoffs?
I don't know. Probably. Well, 500 as a baseball team is not good.
You're right, but they've already been good for the first couple months. So what I'm saying is that, if they just go 500 the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Like if they just not this, I don't think they are. I think they're going to be better than that. So taking it the next step, if you say they can't secure the sweeps, but let's say consistently they win 2 out of 3 games, sometimes only 1 out of 3. You know how baseball is.
Yeah.
So if they go, not 500 but 0.66 the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, they'll be in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't think there's another American League team that's not in first place that's going to be able to push the Red Sox out of the wild card spot come September. But this whole sweep talk, it's really important for this time of the year, and then in August.
Yeah.
August they call the dog days. It's because I honestly don't know if it's like real science, but they say that the ball travels further in the summertime. And it's hot, and the defense is bad. Pitching is off because it's so hot in most of the stadiums. And batters just have their shot to just smack the ball in the summertime.
I was gonna say, I remember David Ortiz said, people asked him. I remember there was one year someone was asking him, why aren't you hitting well? You're David Ortiz, and he's like, just you wait till July and summer, just you wait for August.
Yeah.
That's when things get heated
It's
up. I'll be there. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Which it's looking up for the Red Sox for that time anyways, because they're heavily relying on their bats right now. Pitching is doing their job and doing okay, but the bats are just absolutely flying. So yeah, that's my takeaway from the Red Sox for the first 2 months of baseball. Big time. They need to secure
Any
the sweep.
surprises in the MLB, do you think?
Yeah, the Dodgers suck.
Okay, so any surprise good teams? I think that the surprises we have so far that we've talked about are the Dodgers suck and the Yankees haven't rebounded like the way we thought they would so far. I mean, I think they're probably doing a little bit better, but they're not the Yankees
surprise
that we're
good
used to.
Team.
Besides the Red Sox, which I think is a surprisingly good team.
The Yankees aren't far from the Red Sox record-wise right now. They're only a 2-game difference, so the Yankees have stormed back.
That's a surprise to me. But coming into like at the beginning of the season to now, I think the biggest surprise for me is, other than the Red Sox, is the Rays. I thought they were going to fall off the map after they don't have Blake Snell anymore. They blew the World Series bad. I thought that I thought talent was going to leave, but they're holding their ground, and they're not doing too bad.
The two teams that I thought that weren't even on my radar that are interesting to me are the Athletics.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like they're there every year in a sense that like I just never really count them out. Maybe it's just I've watched Moneyball too many times, and I just I know what that team is, like the thought process of how that team operates and how that's translated to baseball as it is today. But they're pretty good. And
the White Sox? Are you gonna say the White Sox?
No, I was gonna say the Astros. Bleacher Report came out with this little thing about how the Astros are starting to surge. And,
well, yeah, the Astros, but they're they have a very talented team.
They do, but they haven't really recovered from the cheating scandal.
Well, yeah, I guess this is their year to recover from it because a bit of talent never really left. I don't know if I don't know if Verlander's still pitching, but I don't know if he's retired. Let me see. Anyways, I guess I'll agree with that. That's kind of a surprise. Let me see. Justin Verlander is not pitching this year. I think he's retired. He played one game in 2020.
I think I knew that he retired. I don't remember.
I don't know why I didn't know that. But anyways. Oh no, he's injured.
Hosts don't know facts that they should.
What's the point? You just hear the keyboard.
Yep, I knew this. But yeah, that is actually a surprise. Just because of how bad they were last year and the year before. Yeah, the year before was a fluke too.
You want to talk some hockey?
Yeah. What do we got for? Ooh, we're in playoff season, baby.
We're in playoff season, baby. Yes. So, and as a result of that, there's probably the best product in playoffs, I think, going on right now. I think playoff hockey is the best product, just all around. I do think that like hanging on a pitch in MLB playoffs is like the best moment, but just all around the product of NHL hockey is just phenomenal. I thought it was interesting. The Tampa Bay Lightning, their two stars, including Stamkos, are back. Like they had him on like an injured reserve, COVID injury. I think he was actually injured, but he got ready and he's in the playoffs now, which I think makes that very interesting because they won the cup obviously last year and they got a couple of their studs back for the playoffs, which is exactly the perfect timing to get a couple guys back, right? So,
yeah.
Can I just say before before I get into just some takeaways about the Bruins, hockey in general, I know I've just been like nerding out completely. I've just fallen in love with this sport.
You've gotten all in, man.
Yeah, I really have it. I don't mean to keep harping on this, but like the things that hockey does just are so in the face of modern sports sometimes, and I freaking love it. For example, yesterday in the Bruins Capitals game, Connor Clifton got a penalty for interfering with Tom Wilson, and Tom Wilson embellished the penalty. It's in other words, he flopped, right? They put them both in the penalty box. They said, "You did a penalty, you embellished, both get in there 4-on-4 for the
Good for
next 2 minutes."
them.
I love that.
Oh,
And
that's
not only that,
awesome.
but Tom Wilson's going to be on the butt end of that joke because anytime there's an embellishment, usually there's a $2,000 fine. So
Oh.
that boy is not only got penalized for trying to draw a penalty, but he's going to get fined out of his own pocket for drawing that penalty. Love it.
Hockey
Good
is
for the
unmatched.
league.
That's awesome.
Absolutely love it. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
I don't
great.
think, and they don't do it very often. Like, they don't call embellishment every time because there is just like any other sport that you kind of have to draw the penalty. You have to play a little bit of acting, all that stuff. Like, you have to play into it. That's just how that sports work. But I love that versus other leagues. Can you imagine if they had an
Oh my
embellishment?
gosh.
If there's a light flickering, and I think
Yeah,
there's
I
a
saw
demon in
that
my
too.
room. First I sneezed and it looks like The Conjuring. Now there's like lights flickering in my room. I'm going to die. Anyways, can you imagine if there was an embellishment penalty for quarterbacks when they were taking sacks, where it's like, rather than roughing the passer, it's roughing the passer and embellishment. They offset and replay the down.
Dude,
Like,
imagine they had it in the NBA, dude. LeBron James would be
I
broke.
know.
NBA would take about like 5 hours for a game because everyone's just flopping everywhere. Everyone wants to be
think
fouled out.
I think that though, if they I really think they should enforce that, and I think that they should enforce it just mildly. Like, if you didn't call LeBron James, but you called Marcus Smart, who's known for that stuff, and you called him a couple times just to send the message. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that embellishment fee is just to send the message. Hey, play a clean game, and we're going to call
They're
the penalties
grown
we see
men.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love that there's like delay of game penalties, delay of game penalties. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Delay of game penalties in hockey and just kind of how they work. I did a little research on that, and like basically if you take too long with I can't recover from that. If you take too long with the I want our listeners to know, if you're just listening, it's so hard when you screw something up, or when because we're talking to each
That
other
was
on a
not
group
one you wanted
chat
to screw up though.
and we're talking about things, and like one of us makes a smirk, and so like we're all smirking at each other while someone's trying to my stinking laptop wasn't charging, so I'm over here like fumbling around underneath my desk, and Tyler's trying to make some sort of take about baseball, and I can hear it's because I'm like making a fool of myself over here.
I was very
Anyways,
distracted.
it's very distracting, but it adds to the quality of the product that we have, and someone should sponsor us, right, Aaron? Like, we should be getting some sponsorship here,
Should be,
because
absolutely.
Also, the viewers should know that this is very raw. Like,
this is very raw. Yeah.
This is not edited. Like, I don't edit anything that goes up unless like a technical issue happens and I can cut it out. This is raw. You guys get everything. So if we say something really stupid, oof.
It's also another way of saying lazy, because we don't feel like editing.
Extremely, yes.
So we call it raw and real. It's because we don't want to. So that's what it comes down to.
There's jokes there that we could say, but anyways, delay of game in hockey. I just think it's cool that, like, if you're an offensive guy or a defensive guy and you touch the puck and it bounces out and it doesn't touch anything, delay a game, get in the box.
Yeah.
In other words, if you slow down the game, you get penalized, and now your team has to play short for the next 2 minutes. How about that?
Well, like, there's a delay of game in every sport, though.
Yeah, no, but I just love how it operates in hockey.
But it is there.
But yeah, it doesn't. How often does it happen?
It's
I guess
very rare in NBA.
But if you throw the ball out of bounds, the other team gets it, right? So that's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you have a certain amount of time. You have to get the ball to the ref and all that.
Yeah, I just like how it works. I like actually all those kind of things in sports, and I wish that baseball had something like that, like a delay of game, where because the whole point of baseball is delayed the game, I feel like.
Yeah.
So let me get into some takeaways I have from the Bruins. Number one is Alexander Ovechkin. Yeah, he's the villain everybody loves to hate. I don't like that guy.
I love him.
Oh, I can't stand him. He's got such
a great personality.
First of all, no,
What's
he
your beef?
doesn't.
Yes, he does.
What's your beef?
So I think if he played on my team, I would like him. I want to preface with that. Like that's what I mean. He's just a good villain. Like he's physical and he's not skilled. And I don't mean that like he's not. He's more skilled than me, obviously. There's someone out there. Well, he's not. No. That's not what I'm saying. Like there are skilled hockey players. Like Brad Marchand. I watch him. He does like figure eights out there with the puck, and that's how he gets his goals. Alexander Ovechkin just stands on the left circle and waits for somebody to give him the puck, and then he shoots it at a gazillion miles an hour. And you know in Mighty Ducks when that one kid shoots the puck and everyone they do the scene, and everyone's like dodging out of the way, like and then it goes through the back of the net. Yeah, that's Alexander Ovechkin. Like he shoots this one timer that I promise leaves his stick at 10,000 miles per hour, breaks through Mach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hits the back of the net. Like that's his thing. And so he'll hit you, and then he'll just go to the left circle and fire it. And the reason why that annoys me is like in a power play, he just stands on the left circle. That's it. Like he doesn't do anything to make it cool or like to set up a play. No. The play gets set up, and the whole point of the play is get him the puck. He's just going to stand there and shoot it. That kind of annoys me.
But does it work though?
Yeah,
it does work.
Yeah,
of course it works.
24
It's
goals
hockey.
this
Of course
year.
it works.
So like, well then,
It just
works.
that's
on
exactly-
because it's so
it's on the defense for not stopping it.
Thank
That's
you,
exactly
Aaron.
right. No, that's exactly right. Like this is what annoys me about it. He's going to be in the left circle. He's going to be in the left circle. He's going to stand in the
Like,
left
he'd be
circle.
dumb not to keep doing that if they're not defending.
Yeah. Can someone just go skate over there and pester him and make him run around a little bit and clog up the passing? He's in the left circle. How did you just let that goal in? He's in the left circle.
Isn't he one of like the best scorers, one of the top scorers in
He
NHL
is. He is
history?
the best scorer.
No, he really is.
Listen to this. He's been in since 05, right? He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's had 8 seasons with 50 goals or more.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Okay,
I mean,
one of those seasons he had what's his highest? 65 goals in a season.
That's incredible. What do you have for? I think he had like what one season he had 112 points total, right?
112 was his highest. Yeah, that was the year he scored 65 goals
That's
in
crazy.
82 games played.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying the guy isn't incredible. I'm just saying, like, as somebody who you're rooting against, it's very easy to root against him.
All right, I get that. But
Does
he's-
that make sense?
But he is
Like,
talented.
Is
it's
it
like
just because he's good? That's
it's like
why you root
Mario-
against him.
It's a respectable. Well, currently he's facing the Bruins, and there's beef between the
That's true.
Capitals and Bruins, and he's like the physical guy that not only shoots the puck really well, but he's physical and he's big, and so he's incredibly talented, but he's not afraid to have beef with Bruins
Right.
players. So again, he's like Alex Rodriguez, incredibly talented at the plate, and he's not the same Tyler. I could see you like wanting to spit over there, but I mean like that villainous guy. Like I remember A-Rod and trying to throw, he batted the ball out of the first baseman and getting into the fist fight with Jason Varitek. That was at first base though, right?
Brunson Arroyo, yeah.
At first base,
first
though.
base, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I remember. Like the perfect guy to hate, but I like him now that he's in the booth, truthfully. But he was talented, was he not? Not as talented as Ovechkin, but
No,
do you
A-Rod
get what I'm
sucked.
saying?
No, A-Rod sucked.
I
I'm
don't
just kidding.
know if I agree to that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
at
kidding.
all.
I really don't like him.
Yeah, we can tell.
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. For me, I really like that guy. I think he's great. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a great hockey player. He only needs to listen to this. He only needs to play 5 more seasons with 50 goal seasons, and he would surpass Gretzky for goal scored.
But that would put him to like 40. I don't know if that's happening.
Very doable.
That's doable in hockey. 40.
Very
Think so?
doable in hockey. Yeah.
To get
Absolutely.
to average 50 per season.
So let's call it 40 or 30
For him,
and
I
call
think
it
it's
7 or 8
doable.
years. I bet you it's doable.
Will it happen? I would put my money on it not happening, but not a lot of money.
On guys I do like though, Taylor Hall, man.
Taylor Hall.
Oh, I like that guy. I was getting into hockey. The the hockey memes was sharing stuff about him and how much he had quit on the Sabres. And I was looking him up and going, man, if the Bruins could get this guy, I bet you he'd get engaged and be really good. And then they got him, and he's really good. Oh, I love that guy.
Yep, he's great. He's a great addition to the team. What line
And then
is he on?
he's on the second line with Krejci,
Yeah.
and he's playing incredible.
Oh yeah.
And then lastly, I'm done with Tuukka Rask. I'm completely done. And I'm going to use this to springboard into just a little side topic that I wanted to hear you guys' opinions on. But like Tuukka Rask right now is giving up in the playoffs. He gave up a horrible overtime goal, which ticked me off to no end. It bounced off of his own pads, right in front. He looked down at it, watched it go between his legs, and score. And that was the end of the game. That's how they lost. Bounced off of his chest. He looked down at it, did not collect it, went between his legs into the goal, and that was it. And then yesterday he had a horrible goal. His second goal was pretty bad. So he's pretty much averaging one bad goal a game. So when you factor that into the fact that sometimes the Bruins top line isn't exactly performing like 100% or well in the playoffs, and that's kind of a thing that I've noticed watching over the past years, because I haven't been as into hockey as I have been this year, but like I've always watched the playoffs, and that top line can get into slumps in the playoffs. They can get into, they face a more physical, bigger team, and they're more skilled and faster, and they just get slowed down and clogged up. And so what you need is a goalie that can pick up your team and not allow those goals in and give your team the best chance to win and make those scoring opportunities at your first or even your second, or at this point your fourth line, because DeBrusk's been really good in the playoffs so far, score. And so it's been really frustrating to watch Rask give up each game a crap goal that does not give their team the best chance to win. And that brings me to the point that I just wanted to pick your brains at. I can't stand the notion that you can have a good enough offense to compensate for a bad defense. Like, I think that you have to actually have a semi-decent to, at the very least, better than mediocre defense to be a consistent winner. I do know that in history of all sports, there are definitely teams that have had mediocre defenses that have won it all and won big. That's definitely a thing. But like, it doesn't happen at the consistency of someone who has a good defense that picks up a mediocre offense, in my opinion. I think it's kind of changing to that in a lot of sports, but I still think that whole phrase defense wins championships, you got to have a goalie that stops just about everything. You got to have a semi-good defense. I mean, we talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? We remember we talked about how the Chiefs were like one of the worst teams in the red zone and how Brady was just going to pick them apart. That was what happened in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes was the most talented person on that field, and he willed that team, I felt like, to being better than what they were. But their defense just couldn't hold up to Brady. Brady just ran over their defense.
Their defense pooped themselves in that game. It was bad.
And in baseball, I feel that about pitching. Like, I think the Red Sox have a really good offense, but when the game's on the line and it's in the playoffs, your offense is going to have a harder time because it's facing better pitchers. So your pitching has to improve if you want to go deeper in the playoffs. And I think that just because you can put up 7 runs doesn't mean that in playoff baseball, when you're facing the best of the best, you're going to keep putting up 7 runs.
Well, yeah,
so
because the other team's going to be able to put up 8.
Not only are they going to put up 8, but they're going to have guys that have ERAs of 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I do believe that the Red Sox offense can get them quite a ways, but if they don't make their pitching better, they're going to eventually hit a wall.
Right.
There's a ceiling to that kind of team.
And I think that goes like, that's heavy. This whole defense wins championships is heavy in hockey. I mean, the staple of a team is a good goalie
and a good defenseman. Yeah, right. Both of them.
Exactly. So this whole Tuukka Rask thing, I feel like fans are split because there's people who have loved Tuukka throughout the years and they're not willing to give up on him because they've seen what he's been able to do, because in the past he has been that guy you can rely on.
I don't agree completely. You can rely on him in the regular season until he gets to the playoffs, and then he clinches, and then things happen.
I guess that's a good point, because we would have a Stanley Cup. 2 of them. So
he does have a Stanley Cup to his name, but he was a backup goalie.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's been in 2 finals and he hasn't won, and that does leave a mark on you as a goalie.
Yeah, Aaron, what were you going to say?
I was gonna talk about kind of the defense thing because history in all of the sports lines up with that argument. Because
Yeah.
even in the NBA, the years that the Warriors won, they had the number one offense in the league, but they actually were one of the top defensive teams too in the NBA during those seasons. So it's not like they won. But then if you have the like Houston Rockets, they are near the top of the league offensively, but they had a horrible defense. And once playoffs came, we've seen what happens with them.
I was going to
You know?
ask about that in basketball because, like, I think the Nets can win it all just because they have such crazy firepower. But if James Harden decides not to play D, like, is that going to make a difference?
Yeah, the playoffs and for the NBA, the pace of play slows down a ton in the playoffs, and that's what like the Houston Rockets teams of the past couple years have run into, is they kind of run into the they're high scoring, high amount of possessions, and then all of a sudden you go into the playoffs and those possessions are lowered and they get screwed.
Yeah.
Even last year with the Lakers were one of the top defensive teams in the league, and they won the championship. You go in the NFL, greatest show on turf, right? The Rams had the best. I don't Rams. Kurt Warner. Uh,
Help
they
himself every
Oh, that
week.
was so good.
had the best offense in the league, but they also had a top 15 defense too. So I've never seen. Actually, I don't in the NFL. I don't know if I've ever seen a team win where they had a bottom level defense.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
think you can find it. I
I
don't
think
think you
there's
can.
probably some that are I would call mediocre if we looked hard
Mediocre,
enough.
definitely, but I wouldn't say ones that are like bottom 10. Like you don't see that.
Right.
And even then, mediocre is not that common. Usually, it's like a top 10 defense, and
Yeah,
then your offense is usually it's balance is really what
it
it is,
is.
right? It's balance.
Yeah, so I agree, and I know with Rask, just on Felger and Maz, that was one of their biggest knock on him is what they would always say. They'd always say, "Hey, he's very talented and skilled and athletic, but he's always going to give you that one play a game where you're just like, what the freak, man." It's like,
It's been
uh,
true. It's
yeah,
been true. The first two
they've
games,
talked about that for the past couple of years with him. He's always going to give up that one play in a game where you're like, what?
Yeah.
I saw that overtime goal and resulting in a loss, and I said, I've had enough. I have had enough of this guy. Honestly, if he doesn't win, it's like if David Price never won a World Series. Like he just this annoying guy that people want to try and defend, and because he's really talented, but he doesn't have a dang thing to his name. Like that's if David Price never won, that's what he would remember. But obviously David Price did. So I hope that Tuukka Rask does too, and that this all gets put to bed. But if it doesn't, that's a pretty bad mark on your legacy
Yeah, you're known as the guy who always gives up one bad play a game.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, not what you want on your
It's
resume.
the worst time for it to happen.
It's like, pooping at a customer's house. It's just the worst possible time for it to happen.
Oh my goodness.
On that note, you want to talk some NFL stuff? Because there's a
Let's
Ooh.
couple
do it.
things that happened over the past week or so.
Oh.
The schedules came out, which gave us the yearly strength of schedule and the yearly odds of how many wins you're going to have. So the team with the toughest strength of schedule this year is Pittsburgh, and the team with the easiest strength of schedule is Philadelphia. And I don't know, Pittsburgh, I'm not sure what they're going to be. I don't even know what Philadelphia is going to be either, but everybody seems to be
Yeah.
convinced they're going to suck. But I will say Dallas has the second easiest strength of schedule. So I better not hear. I better not hear because they're going to choke at some point. December, January, there's going to be a choke somewhere in there. I better not hear, well, they just had some really good opponents this year. And wait a minute. I can already look at this season and say that you're going to face probably some teams that are pretty bad. And in the NFL, usually the teams are going to be bad. Like you just do. Like I realize I just said I don't know what Philadelphia is going to be, but if everybody says Philadelphia is going to suck, they're probably not going to be that good this year, right? Like
Right.
you just kind of know.
Yeah, who knows with the quarterback situation too, how they're going to be.
I thought the other ones that stuck out to me as far as strength of schedules go, the Detroit Lions have one of the toughest strength schedules.
Yeah,
Oh,
poor
my.
Lions.
Poor
Goodness, man.
Lions.
And they got Goff.
Yeah, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
It's like you get Goff, and then they give you one of the hardest schedules. It's like Detroit's just like, can we get a win? Our city sucks. We still, our state still doesn't have water. Like,
Now, here's one that I did find interesting. Green Bay Packers have the fourth hardest strength of schedule, and if you look at their odds this year of how many they're under and over is really what I meant to say for wins and losses. They only have the Packers at 10.5 wins.
Really?
So
I wonder
they're
if any of it has to do with the Rodgers stuff.
I think absolutely. You're
I
gonna
think
give
that's what it is.
you're gonna give an Aaron Rodgers team 6 losses, somewhere in there. Tyler, you know how gambling works a little bit better than me. So 10.5. I mean, obviously, are you going to take the over or the under? I would say between 6 and 7 losses, right? I'm not saying that wrong, right?
No, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, because I'm an idiot, 6 or 6 or 7 losses for an Aaron Rodgers team. Does that sound right? I mean, obviously, if he gets injured, that would be maybe more accurate.
Him starting every game, that doesn't make any sense.
But if maybe Vegas knows that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be there,
Like Bortles is taking over.
Then they'll be a 6
Yeah.
or 7 loss team.
I was just saying, if Blake Bortles is your starter, 10.5 might be a little high. I think I might take the under on that.
Yeah, we still don't know what's going to go on with Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy. They still he's still saying he doesn't want to play there.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Under and over projects Houston as the worst team this year.
Where did they put the Patriots?
Now, this is what I was going to get to. New England Patriots, 9.
9 wins?
9 wins.
So a little better than last year.
Tyler, what do you think? Because I can see those wheels turning. Do you think 9 is right?
Honestly,
you think it needs to be a little bit higher?
I just don't know. Cam Newton was garbage last year. And, yes, I'm a Patriots fan. And, yes, when I'm a fan of a team that I like, I just am in, like, La La Land, in dream world about them all the time. That's just the kind of fan that I am. Not saying I'm the better fan at all. But do I want them to get to 13 whatever wins, like have a pretty okay record, make it to the playoffs?
What quarterback is bringing them to 13 wins?
Nobody that's on the team. I mean, Mac. Nobody that's signed right now, other than I don't know about Mac Jones. I've never seen him play a game. I know nothing about him.
I heard this today. How many touchdowns did the quarterback roster for the New England Patriots throw in all of the regular season last year? Throw.
It was like 9 or 10.
They're 10 or 11.
12.
Okay.
Was it 12?
Yeah, that's bad.
And they brought all of those guys back.
Nice.
They're not a 9-win
but
team.
They did add some people.
That's loyalty.
I'm talking about the quarterback position.
Right. Yeah.
You guys want to know how many touchdowns Tom Brady threw in the postseason last year?
12.
Oh, in the postseason?
Yeah, just in the postseason.
So last year?
The comparison is 4 weeks
last year
to 16 weeks. 1 guy to 3 guys.
Was it 13 or 14?
It was 10.
Oh, it was 10. Dang, I was off, man.
So 3 guys, so triple the amount of guys, quadruple the amount of weeks, season. And they just barely beat him.
Yeah. Yikes.
Over under is the wins seem just low overall, because the number one, it has the Chiefs at 12 wins, which means they'd have 5 losses, and that's the highest. So I don't know.
What did they go last year? 15-2?
No, 15-1.
No, they lost 2.
Game.
They lost 2.
Did they?
Yeah, they lost to the Raiders in the middle of the season, and then they lost the last game of regular season.
Yeah.
Oh, because they sat him.
They sat Mahomes.
That's right.
You don't count the last.
I've seen a lot of people that think that they're going to have they're going to finally get the elusive undefeated in a full regular season, or full, like with the Super Bowl win and all that. Not 18-1.
Are you really crediting these sources? I don't mean to be, but I mean I don't mean to discredit them, but I mean, like, I've heard that many years in New
Yeah,
England.
he gets all of it on YouTube. You can trust YouTube. That's where
Yeah,
you go for.
YouTube.
You should go there for news and everything.
And for
YouTube's always right.
all vaccination information. No, I've just because like I'm
That's what I
friends
was getting
like
at.
my family are all Chiefs fans, and we're in like a football chat, and they keep sending like NBC Sports articles about them saying that the Chiefs are probably getting their
NBC Sports
season.
or NBC Sports Kansas City?
No, NBC Sports, like
Okay,
the national one, but
it's not the local affiliate.
no,
that's
I don't think so.
Okay.
So don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But can we talk about something really quick? Because we're talking about Tom Brady and the
Yes.
Patriots, Week 4,
Yes.
Buccaneers versus the Patriots
Yes.
in Gillette Stadium. Oh
Yep.
my gosh, that is I can't believe the NFL did it. They did it. Like, this is the game. This will be my favorite game of all time. I don't care if it's a blowout. I'm happy both ways. If we win, haha, that's great. If we lose, Tom Brady wins. Like, I'm so happy.
Well, we're probably going to lose. So.
Yes.
Yeah, we will.
I would actually bet against the Patriots, even though I love them, and
I don't want to see Bill
I think they're going to win.
Hurt.
Really, I want to see how this is all going to go down. I think that New England fans will give Brady a standing ovation.
Oh yeah, they should.
100%. I think that'll happen. I think there'll be even some more pomp and circumstance that come with that because Kraft is such a friend of Brady. I also know that not only have sports pundits talked about it, but NFL memes has talked about it, so it must be true. But Brady could seriously break Drew Brees' record in Week 4
in New England. Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
Like, it's a real thing. Like, if he averages his average last year of 289 yards, he could break Brees' record. He's only like 1,100 yards away.
Do you think the NFL set it up for that?
I don't know if they set it up for that, but maybe they set it up with the best chance for something like that. Like, because they would eat up that kind of press. Are you kidding me? Brady goes back to the team that let him leave and breaks the NFL passing record in their stadium. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell and those owners would be like, Mr. Krabs wheeling that money to the bank.
Well, they already are. Have you heard about their ticket prices for these things?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They're going for like $1,000 for like the nosebleed seats.
It's absolutely crazy how much ticket. Or honestly, Fenway is no better. Fenway price and Bruins games are stupid expensive too. They're all ridiculous.
Well, everything's expensive because it's limited capacity, so they're hard to get. Yeah, true.
I think the NFL is though. I think the NFL is going to be like they're going full capacity.
Yeah, they're going to be full capacity, 100%.
So have
all the leagues?
Have you guys heard? Have you guys heard? Do you guys ever watch Pat McAfee's podcasts?
No, I've heard
he's great.
I've heard a couple episodes.
He's a former punter for the Colts. He was really good too. He said on his podcast when the news broke that Tom Brady was going to be coming to Gillette Stadium Week 4, he thinks that the NFL is setting Tom Brady up to lose in New England. Because if you guys want to really quickly get the Bucs schedule up,
okay.
The Bucs schedule in 2021 is, where is it at? It's right here. Give me past preseason. So they will be Week 1 flying to Texas from Florida.
Okay. So at Texas.
Yep, which is
that was a home game. The first one, the Cowboys are.
No, that is a home game. Yeah, you're right. Let me get a better
sorry.
version of this. Let me go to images. Don't use that stupid one.
Oh, you know what? This is wrong. Yeah, sorry. I looked this up. There we go. So preseason.
Yeah, their first game's against the Cowboys, and it's a home game for them.
I can't find the right one. So the first game's in Dallas, right? So they go to Texas. Oh no.
We just
they're going to be in Florida, and then what's Week 2?
They're going to be Yeah, they're going to be hosting the Falcons.
at
Yep.
home.
Okay, and
Yep.
then what's week 3?
They're
LA.
going to LA.
LA. They have to go to LA in a primetime game.
Yep.
And then
No,
fly.
it's not prime time.
It's not?
It's 4 o'clock.
4:30.
Okay. Oh, I guess that makes sense because, anyways, and then they have to fly back and then go to New England for a primetime game on Sunday. And he thinks that they're setting him up to fail because he's traveled like the cross country flights and all that. And he says that it is the absolute worst to recover in that week when you travel across like the whole country. And that was like his main reason for why. That was really confusing with the schedule because I could not find the right one. But
5 primetime games this year too.
Oof. So yeah, that's like that travel for them is really, really rough. And so he thinks that the NFL is setting Tom Brady up to lose in New England, which even if they are, that would still be hilarious. And I would love it.
I think then I think if they're gonna try and get like a scheduled loss in, which I don't think they do in the NFL, but like if they had to pick one, I would think they would just bag it in. I would think Brady would say, LA, whatever. We're gonna lose a couple here anyways. Let's rest up our guys and
beating Bill.
We are going to beat Bill. His father called one of the local stations and like flat out said, yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to seeing you guys in week 4. And like this whole thing, I think it is heavily on Brady's mind. He is coming to New England and he is going to show Bill what it's like without Brady.
And to play against Brady.
Oh, I can't
it's
wait.
Gonna be. I mean, Bill knows Brady in and out probably better than any other person in the NFL. Like, so if you need someone to scheme against him.
Yeah, but Brady also knows Bill probably better than anybody else.
That's the crazy part about this. It's gonna be so fun watching them just go at it.
Legit. I'm excited for it.
Me too.
Can't wait to see Bill rage on the sidelines.
Breaking things.
You know, if they lose, like inside, Bill's gonna just be seething.
Oh no, I want them to lose because I want to hear the post game conference where they're asking Bill all these questions and he just like, you know, he basically
play a better game than us.
He turns around and moons them. Like that's essentially his response is like, yeah, whatever, guys. I just, or we didn't play well enough offense, defense, special teams. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the film.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. What did you think about facing Brady? I mean, it was
just like facing any other quarterback.
It's just like facing any other quarterback. I mean, Brady. I mean,
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers. We're looking for. We got to go back to the game plan for next week.
Brady, same thing.
We prepare for every week the same. It's just the insufferable Bill. I would look.
So you don't prepare differently when playing against the greatest quarterback of all time? That sounds like poor coaching, Bill. I think you should prepare differently.
Man, that game can't come soon enough. I didn't even. Dude, I hate even talking about it, thinking about it, because it's so far away.
How hard would it be to tailgate that game?
So that place is gonna be nuts.
Just to throw it out there,
we could do it.
It would be.
You guys come out here.
It would be really difficult.
And I'll try to sneak in.
Tyler, how hard would it be? Because it's just a car drive for me. It's really just like walking for Aaron.
How difficult would it be for me? Yeah, really difficult.
Yeah, it's literally 15 minutes away from where I
live. What day? What date?
It would
date
of the month? Sunday.
No, I know that. Is it the 8th?
October the 3rd.
The 3rd, yeah.
The year of our Lord.
Wait, October 3rd. Yeah, no, not happening. Sorry.
October 3rd.
Dang, Tyler. Well, we started walking.
You guys could FaceTime me in, and I will grill burgers and drink a really nice ice cold Diet Pepsi outside.
Man, you love ice cold.
You love your soft drinks. Or do they call them pop out there?
Oh, they call it pop, and it confuses me every time because one of the kids will be like, "I want a pop." Be like, "I don't have popsicles here." No, a soda. All right, then say soda.
Why didn't you say soda? And just goodness, don't be weird, kid.
You want to talk NBA?
Yeah, we're in the playoffs.
What are we at for time right now? How are we doing? I don't want to take
about an hour 4.
All right, we can talk a little bit of NBA. Yeah, the play-in tourney is officially underway as of 2 nights. The first game is already in the books, and the Charlotte Hornets pooped all over themselves as I
Nice.
expected. Sorry,
Oh
Jacob.
my gosh.
Yeah, they got destroyed tonight. And as of right now, the Celtics are actually Celtics are playing right now. I don't know what the score is right at this moment, but it's
27-21.
in the first. Yeah, it's in the first quarter, I believe. So yeah, it's cool that the play-in has started. It's an interesting structure. I was looking at it a little bit a couple days ago. So like the 9 and the 10 seed play, which that was Charlotte and Indiana today for the Eastern Conference. The winner of that game doesn't necessarily go into the playoffs. They have to actually win another game.
Ooh.
They have to play the winners of or they play the loser of the 7 and 8 seed game. And so the teams that are 7 and 8 seed in that game, whoever wins goes into the playoffs. They're automatically in with just one win. The loser of that 7 to 8 then has to play the winner of the 9 and 10 seed to then get into the playoffs.
Oh.
So yeah, it's different. It's different from what they did last year too.
And it's just one game, right? It's not a series.
It's just one game.
Ooh.
That's it.
Ooh,
And
in
so,
basketball, that's tough.
What do you
Yeah,
think of the
it's-
notion of the Celtics losing both games so that they can
Fire
intentionally
Danny Ainge.
so that I'm not saying they intentionally
Mm-hmm.
lose, but if they win and then they make it in the playoffs, doesn't it make it easier to say, well,
Rip the Band-Aid off. Rip the Band-Aid off and lose.
we need to just build some more pieces. We just need a little bit more help on a couple things. Maybe we have a couple guys that maybe in a couple years. But if they miss the playoffs completely with this roster, isn't it easier to say, as Tyler said, like, all right, guys, this isn't working? Wouldn't the owner come down and say, Mr. Danny, thank you so much for your years and for the championship, but it's time.
You're fired.
yeah.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Because I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really mind that because even if they win, like if they win tonight, they go to the playoffs. They're not doing anything. Like so it's
Yeah, but
you better,
Yeah, but they can go back and say, well, we've made the playoffs every year.
Exactly. Eric, you have it spot on. They could, like, Danny's doing a great job. We've made it to the playoffs the past, like, 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'd kind of rather them lose.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And then they could go to the drawing board and say, hey, we missed. We made a deep playoff run last year. We didn't even get in this year. We got to make some changes. Danny has to pack his bags. Maybe we can get that conversation rolling. Finally,
If Danny
maybe
packs his bags, would you want Brad Stevens to be the GM and make somebody else the head coach?
Just switch. Make Danny Ainge the head coach.
Oh gosh, really, I just don't know how Stevens would do as a GM if he has the experience to do that.
But don't you think he can't reach these guys? Like, don't you think there's like a, in that sport, right? Like, typically the thing you do is fire the head coach when things aren't working right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that happens all the time. How many head coaches has LeBron gone through over the years?
Well, he's a special case because he can just be like, I
He
don't like this guy.
is the head coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
He's like part of the mafia. Hey, I don't like him. All right, I'll take care of it.
If you want someone gone in an organization, they're gone. Like, so he's a little bit different. He has a lot of pull, which I don't like that he has that much pull, but yeah, I don't know. With the Celtics, I think they're gonna win tonight because I don't trust the Wizards. I don't think they're that great of a team, so I think they're gonna make the playoffs and they'll lose. They'll lose pretty handily in the first round, but hopefully they make. I hope the Celtics can make some big changes going on this year. I want to see Ainge go.
Yeah.
I hope he goes. I don't know who they get to fill in. The Brad Steven things is intriguing. I just don't know if he knows how to do that. If he knows how to be a GM. So I wouldn't know how that would work. But of all the play-in teams, I think we got the Wizards, we got the Celtics, the Pacers have already moved on. In the West, you got the Spurs, you got the Grizzlies, Warriors, Lakers. Who do we think out of all those has the best shot of making the deepest run or a chance to make the finals?
On paper or as currently constituted?
As currently constituted.
So, no Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be 100% back yet.
And LeBron is admitted that his ankle is never going to be the same.
He's back, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with your boy, Stephen Curry.
I think that's
Ooh,
the
there we
Grizzlies.
go. You think the Grizzlies will?
Yeah,
Really?
I
want to hear.
do.
Okay,
Well, because
I want to hear. I want to hear that.
Carl Anthony Towns.
No, he's on the Timberwolves.
You know, all those you get all those messed up.
Wait,
all the
who did
time.
I say? Oh, the Grizzlies. Never mind. I don't even know who's on the Grizzlies. So
we'll
yeah,
settle
the
that, dude.
Warriors.
Yeah, honestly, what were you said Lakers, Golden State, Grizzlies, and what was the other team?
Spurs.
Oh yeah, the Grizzlies. I just didn't name on the jersey, irrelevant. Next team.
They don't have really any star power. They're a very gritty team. They work really hard, but in the NBA that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
So you need studs. And I mean, yeah, right now, I mean, the Warriors are hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're clicking. Their defense is tightened up. Curry's been on one of the best tears in NBA history the past couple
Yeah.
months.
My goodness.
If the Lakers are healthy, I think it'd be easy to just hit the Lakers. But Anthony Davis, they're not 100% sure he's going to be able to come back in time. LeBron's hurt. If there is ever a chance that the Warriors could knock them out and move in, this is their chance.
Yep.
Who do you
now.
think's going to come out of the West? Honestly,
It's so crazy because you have the Jazz and the Suns, who are the top 2 seeds, but you're like they've never been there before, so I don't know I don't know if I trust it. It all depends on how the Lakers, if the Lakers can sneak in and get healthy. If they can get healthy, I think they can make it through the West.
all right. So let me ask you this question. Maybe angle this more to where I'm trying to go. If the Lakers aren't healthy and they get bounced, and you have Phoenix, you have Utah, and you have Golden State, can Golden State make a run?
I think they definitely win a series.
Hmm.
I think they could definitely win a series. Get to round 2. I think they could make round 2 really close. I don't know if they run into the Suns. I don't know if they beat the Suns. I think the Suns could go to the finals if the Lakers aren't healthy. They have Chris Paul, who's been amazing for that team. He's got that veteran leadership. And then with him paired with Devin Booker, I don't know if they could beat the Suns. I do think though the Warriors, if they they win the play-in game, get into the playoffs, I think they'll win a series. And I think they'll make the second round competitive, but I don't know if they advance further than that. I just think at that point it's only Curry. That's all you have, and he'll advance you a little bit, but you need to have someone else on that team to get to that next level in the playoffs.
Side note: you just did something that was very much like your head pastor. You went,
oh no, am I doing that?
Yeah. You just did that. You've been talking to Steve a lot. Anyways,
I have to. I work with him.
I know. Guilty of that as well. The reason why I was saying all that or asking all that is because I tell you what, if I just was curious, but if Golden State makes a run at it and Golden State somehow makes it in the finals and it's Golden State versus the Nets, I would tune in and watch. Other than that,
that's
it's a
TV.
Foregone conclusion what's going to happen. So, well, who cares who's come out of the West, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I think the Nets. You saw that play? Yeah, you remember that play that we sent twice in the chat?
Oh, dude, I felt so embarrassed after that.
Because I was so confused why you sent it. And I was
the
like,
best part was is that I copy and pasted my same response and just let it ride.
But I mean, you saw that play, that chemistry, and it's like, oh man,
yeah,
like that's a scary team because they're all coming. They're all going to be back.
You don't draw that up, dude. That's just chemistry.
No, that's just talent and chemistry, and they got it. All right, and so that'll be it for now. Just talk about that for the NBA. We can talk more about that as the playoffs pick up. Because we got to start wrapping this sucker up. So everyone who is listening, be sure to continue to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Please like and subscribe to us. Let your friends and family know about us. Please say nice things so we can get our audience up. We can get sponsors so we can start getting paid and so that we can quit our full-time jobs to do this all the time and make it amazing. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant because I'm dreaming here, guys. I'm dreaming. But we also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Under.500 Podcast, where you can DM us with messages on what you want to hear us talk about, any questions you have, and we will respond to those. And yeah, that's it for the plug. Hopefully, we see all you guys next week, gentlemen. It's been another pleasure.
All right, boys. Peace out.
Let's go,
Bye
Bruins.
boy.
Woo, Bruins.